we have got to dress this baby up. We've got to put a bow on her head. This is, because sisters had bows. We showed pictures of them. And so she came in with a pink bow and a blue bow. And she said, which one?
Yeah.
He said, we're Gunner Tigers. We'll take the blue one.
I love it. Welcome to Behind the Brand. Today, we are honored to share a story that's bigger than business. We're joined by the family and founders of Sutton Lane Legacy Foundation to talk about their daughter, Sutton, and how her life continues to impact others in a special way.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Welcome to the show or to the episode. I'm glad you guys got to come join us and talk about Sutton and the foundation that you guys have started in her honor. So, how I guess, tell me the story.
Well, Sutton was our third girl. She completed our little girl gang. She was born 2 years ago today, April 17th.
Oh my gosh.
And she was born perfectly healthy. She, no medical issues. She was going to ball games. It was softball season, so we welcomed the third kid, and off she went to ball games right out of the hospital to watch her big sisters play. And she ended up with meningitis, unbeknownst to us. And so on day 19, I believe it was, she was just not eating, kind of acting funny. Took her into the pediatrician. The pediatrician called the ambulance. We went to Children's, and by that point, she was having seizures. So that's what ultimately, she did have Group B strep meningitis, but the seizures is what ultimately took her life. So she battled until May 11th, the day before Mother's Day. And then she's now our little angel. So here we are.
Wow. Guess I didn't realize the, what happened. It was meningitis.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So the thing about Group B strep too, you get tested for that in the hospital or even before. But they will test you for Group B strep before you have the baby and then before having the C-section. So I was negative both times.
Oh, okay.
So this was called late onset. And even the infectious disease doctors were like, we don't have answers for you.
Wow.
She could have contracted it from one of us, there's no answers.
Yeah.
So, kind of a medical anomaly, which was wild. We're those people. And we're like, okay, we're gonna take this with a grain of salt and let it.
From that, you guys decided, when did you decide to start doing something in her name?
So right after she passed away, him and I had the discussion, and he said, "We've got to give back." This community rallied around us, and
I remember.
We can't even in just indescribable ways. The waiting room at the hospital. We're at Children's Dallas, and it's a massive waiting room, and it was standing room only for days.
We thought we were going to have security issues because people were wondering what was going on and because of the amount of people that showed up.
Yeah.
That's amazing to have that many people. And I didn't know you guys and didn't know really who you guys were at the time, but I remember the bow.
Yes.
Everywhere.
Yes. So the story of the bow. When she was in the NICU, and this was probably about 3 days before she ended up passing, one of our nurses, we just really connected with her, and she came in and she's like, we have got to dress this baby up. We've got to put a bow on her head. This is, because sisters had bows. We showed pictures of them. And so she came in with a pink bow and a blue bow. And she said, which one? You want to tell her what you said?
I don't even remember, to be honest with you.
The whole week.
We're Gunner.
Yeah. He said, we're Gunner Tigers. We'll take the blue one.
I love
it. So that's the story of the blue bow. And then but it was more this color blue.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of what transformed this blue color.
love
and then it became the Sutton bow. And that picture was sent around with her little bow on, was sent around to, our people, and it just became a thing. So the foundation started not long after, just after the community just rallied around us and just poured into us and supported us and loved on us. And we just felt very strongly that we wanted to give back. I think we can say our mission is blessing others as we've been abundantly blessed in the midst of tragedy. So that's where we stand. We just wanted to give that to others. So here we are.
That. So Sutton was here on Earth for 19 days.
24 days.
24 days. Okay.
Yeah. 24 days.
Wow.
Yep. And it's crazy. Somebody actually texted me this morning, for her birthday. And, had mentioned, just still to this day reflecting, here we are 2 years later, but her 24-day, the impact she made in 24 days. It's really indescribable.
Yeah. Well, and that's the great thing too about the gunner community is they do. Then when there is something that people are hurting, they all do come together and support. It's one thing that I've absolutely loved about this community is that they show up when you need you or when they need you. You need them. Yeah,
They definitely do.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. So you started a tournament, a golf tournament last year was the first year. It's the first annual golf tournament to support. What does it support? So tell us a little bit more about that foundation.
Okay, so one of the first ways that we had talked about being able to collect funds was through a golf tournament.
Okay.
We're no golf experts, but we have family that is. And so Jordan's like, this sounds, I really want to do this. Yeah. And that was actually his idea. And he was like, we're doing a golf tournament. I'm like, we're doing a golf tournament. Like, let's do it. I love it. And so we talked to a whole bunch of people and it all came together. It was a really neat coincidence on how we ended up. Of course, my negligence with golf. I called the Bridges in January, because people were like, hey, aren't you doing a golf tournament? I'm like, yeah, but that's like months from now, no big deal. I called the Bridges and she all but laughed at me when I said, oh, well, like May would be good. She's like, oh, okay. Well, that's really soon in the golf world. And I'm like, oh, well.
Okay.
It's far out to me, So anyways, but it was really neat. She had initially told me, I don't think it's going to happen. And we're like, that's okay. Next year, maybe we'll do it next year.
Yeah.
And then she ended up calling back and no coincidence. It was a total God thing. And she said, we have May 10th available. And I think they had a members only tournament and they were willing to move it for based on her story.
Yeah.
And I said, well, that's really neat because she passed away on May 11th, and this will give me something to turn my focus to. Yeah. So May 11th or May 10th last year was our first annual Sutton Lane Legacy Foundation golf tournament. And it all came together beautifully. We had a ton of people play. We raised over $20,000.
Wow.
And you so kindly marketed all of our signs and our merch and things, and it really just came together like a piece, like just the final piece of the puzzle. So we're doing it again this year.
I love it.
So we actually secured, we're like, well, we've got to stick to this tournament. It's Mother's Day weekend. Selfishly, it gives me something to do and take my mind away from that.
Well, and there's
so it's on May 9th
too.
This year.
I feel like that, especially today being her birthday, it's when we were talking about dates and you were like, what about this date? And you're like, that's her birthday. So I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yes.
And then the tournaments being right around when she went to her heavenly home is just, I don't know. It's like, there's a God thing.
There's been so many God moments.
Yeah.
Where him and I are like, nope, this isn't a coincidence. It's just meant to be.
Oh my gosh. I love
the fact that you only had April 17th available to do this. I told people, and they're like, what? I'm like, I know. So,
yeah. And it did not even occur to me that was her birthday either.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you mentioned it to me, I looked down at your logo and I was like, oh my gosh. Okay.
We're doing it.
Okay. This is good.
We're doing it.
Oh my gosh.
Of course, we were sent to Disney, and then I don't think we have ever, like, we hadn't experienced joy since, true joy since she passed away. And we both were like, this as cliche as it sounds, because it's Disney.
Yeah.
It truly changed our lives. So got home and I realized, like, okay, wait a second, this could be another way that we could use our funds.
Yeah.
If there's a family that is going through a hard time, if I can plan it for them, that takes the stress off of them. We can send them to Disney.
And you understand what they are going through.
Yes.
Yeah. To make sure that their experience is good. Yeah.
So I prayed about it, whatever, and I found this. I literally was just scrolling through one day, and I found this agency, and they were opening. And it's hard to get into an agency because there's so many that want to be Disney planners, and so you have to. There's a select, enrollment, all the things. So I ended up getting in, and I joined this through the agency. There's a little program. They will send you leads.
Yeah.
So I told Jordan, I was like, I don't know. It's a leap of faith. It's like anything else. You have to pay. You have to
Yeah.
I can't think of the term, but like you have to spend money to make money.
Right. Exactly.
So we're
you have to invest
paying
in
into
it
this
to be
lead.
able to,
I'm paying into this lead system.
Yes.
I told him, I was like, I don't know, and he was like, you need to do it.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll never forget, was sitting in my classroom. I wasn't on recess duty, so I was sitting there. It was Thursday afternoon. I was already prepped for the next week.
You're a teacher. Yeah.
And I turn on this first time because I had to go through extensive training. So I'd finished my training. I'd get home from teaching all day, do my training, turn on this lead system. My very first lead, it was like, it just gives me chills thinking about it. The very first lead to come through was a dad whose wife just died.
Oh my gosh.
And he just wanted to take his son on a magical vacation. And I was like, accept.
Yes.
And they're in Disney right now.
Are they really?
Yeah. So I planned their whole trip. 7 days. And
that's amazing.
I'm like this. So I called him and I was like, well, this is what I'm supposed to do too.
Yeah.
This is a way that we can give back. So
yeah,
it's just been a really cool experience. But that's literally our next goal is to okay, let's find a family and let's send them.
Yeah.
With Sutton Lane funds.
Right.
Why not?
Yes.
So that was another thing. So,
absolutely love that because yeah. Well, it's just one more way that again, you're supported in a way that you wouldn't have ever probably imagined that would mean something, right? And now it's something you're actually doing for others.
Yeah.
Love it. I love it. It's a God thing. Yeah. So you guys raised $20,000 last year on the golf tournament, and that goes to the foundation, but you're actually doing more with that and supporting local, scholarships and other things.
Sure.
Talk a little bit more about that.
So that was kind of our discussion after, okay, we have all this money. We want to bless somebody. What are we going to do?
Yeah.
Jordan and I are both Gunner High School grads. So we thought, and of course our girls go to Gunner School.
Yeah.
So we just thought about, well, why not give back to the legacy that they're in? So we do have a Sutton Lane Legacy Foundation gift scholarship through our Gunner Education Scholarship Fund.
Yeah.
And we were able to award our very first gift scholarship this year, which was very special.
That's amazing.
So we have a recipient, and so when you go to decide on your gift scholarship, you kind of set parameters.
Okay.
And so our parameters were, they just needed to be involved in something.
Yeah.
But our biggest focus was we wanted the individual to be going into something medical, whether it's first responder, nurse, LVN, anything, because that's who came to our rescue.
Right.
So it was very neat. We got to Yvonne, our first one, and she's going off to be a nurse this year.
I love that.
Perfect. It was a perfect match.
That's awesome.
It was a very rewarding, emotional, because that was truly our first time that we were able to see it into action.
Yeah.
And to give back in that way. So
yeah.
we're going to actually, so this year's golf tournament, we have a similar lens. We want to raise more to go into that scholarship fund so we can essentially add more into that fund to where we could hopefully be rewarding a $2,000 scholarship instead of a $1,000 scholarship.
Yeah.
And then also we would like to put money just to the side to have in our fund where if there's just a family going through tragedy, where we can just cut them a $3,000 check and just pay for their mortgage for the month, just to
alleviate some of that,
just to bless them,
because that's a big relief when you are going through some tragedy and needing to focus on that and not so much on your finances at that point. So and
that was that was something that the gunner community did for us too. I mean, we didn't, medical bills we didn't have to worry about because that was fully funded from our gunner people, which was
that's huge.
Being in the NICU for I mean it was
massive,
a huge blessing, and so just taking away that stressor when in a time where you don't need to be worrying about finances.
I love it. Oh my gosh.
So we're super excited.
That is amazing.
Round 2, we know what we're doing this year.
I love it.
We did get great feedback last year. People were like, have you done this before? I was like, absolutely not, but we're here.
We're working it like pros.
It was great. We loved it though. We got great feedback. So.
Well, and it's a lot of fun too.
So fun.
Yeah.
So fun.
It's, that's a special way to honor Sutton, I think, too, is celebrating the life that she had here. And it's just, I don't know. I have no words. I think it's amazing.
That happens to us often.
So your next one is May 9th. And right now they are taking registrations until, when does that cut off?
So I'd like to cut off team registration by May 1st, but we're not going to turn you down. So everything is on SuttonLaneLegacy.com.
Okay.
We have some sponsorship opportunities still available. We've, again, been abundantly blessed this year with a title sponsor and different level sponsors and whole sponsorships. And then we also are going to host an online raffle that will actually open in the next couple of weeks. We're going to start it online, and then it will continue on the day of.
I love it.
That was some feedback we got last year. Was there was a lot of people that couldn't either make it because it's Mother's Day weekend or it's in the midst of baseball, softball season, but they wanted to still be involved. And so starting the online raffle, we've got some really neat items that are going to be on there. And then, like I said, we'll continue the raffle the day of, and then we'll draw on the day of the tournament.
Okay, perfect. And then you do have merch to support as well.
Yes, and that's also on SuttonLaneLegacy.com.
Okay.
Some super cute things.
They are some super cute things.
If you must say so yourself.
Really cool hats. And you've actually added a color, a gray this year.
Yes.
So,
we're branching out from
I love it.
Yes.
I love it. So. But still the same insignia of the bow. The bow. I love it.
Yeah.
Well, I absolutely love hearing the story on Sutton Lane and understanding more about what the foundation does. Everybody, please support them. They are doing massive things to support the local youth. It's an amazing foundation. Go to their website, check it out.
Sutton
you have
Lane
a
Legacy.
Facebook page or anything else?
Yeah, we have a Facebook. It's just Sutton Lane Legacy Foundation, but
Okay. And the tournament is going to be at the Bridges again.
In Gunner.
Yep. And in Gunner, which is again local.
Yep.
So go support them. Thank you for watching.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us on Behind the Brand. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notifications for more real conversations with real brands. All the details on today's guests are linked below, so go check them out and give them a follow. We'll see you on the next episode.